Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you're watching today. Now, today is my second Ask Kelly question, and the question I'm answering is by Tracy Mary N. Keenan. And she asked me two questions, and one is how not to procrastinate and how to start your goals. So thank you, Tracy, for the question. Now, goal setting and procrastination for me is really close to my heart. It's something I have done for a very long time. And I actually, at one point, I gave up setting goals because I had such an experience of setting goals and for them not working out. So I saw myself as a failure, so I gave up even thinking about goals. And it wasn't until about, I think, the middle of last year when I started to really take myself more seriously and started to really think about what I wanted in my life. And one of the things I first had to do was ask myself in meditation, what does my life want from me? And when you're setting goals, you really need to discover whether the goals that you want to do are actually for your highest good. For a long time, I set goals that were my ego goals. There were things that I thought would impress people, things that I thought I should be doing in my life. And when I asked this question, what does my life need from me? The answer was very different and the goals really changed. And your goals become much more streamlined. Before that, I procrastinated for England. I found that I would overwhelm myself with tasks and goals. I would have 100 million goals on a notepad to do. And because of this, I never got anything completed. I never achieved anything because the list looked so long and so overwhelming. I'd start one goal and then I'd be thinking about 20 others at the same time. And I think this can lead to anxiety and depression because we feel like we're not achieving what we came here to do. And first thing I would say, if you are like that and you feel quite overwhelmed by your list of goals, is find out what you need first. And is there anybody in your life that you're saying yes to and helping out or supporting that you need to begin saying no to? If you have so little energy because you're helping or supporting others to the level that you're not able to support yourself, then you will feel resentful, tired and exhausted and ill-prepared to do your own goals. So start saying no first. That's the beginning point. If you're not saying no, then you're not saying yes to yourself, and you are really important and worthy of saying yes to. Now, in my past, I used to do something called butterfly hopping, where I'd have one goal, one idea, and I'd do a little bit of it, and then I'd see something over there that was brighter and more sparkly and more interesting. So I'd drop that goal and go on to the next one. And then I'd see the next one and I'd just go on and on and on. Butterfly hopping so much that I once again didn't achieve or fulfill what I wanted to do. I think the more that we don't follow through on our intentions, the less we trust ourselves and the less we back ourselves. And self-trust is the foundation of self-love along with self-acceptance. And another thing I found over the years was that procrastination, it can be both a blessing and a curse. So there's many different aspects to goal setting. Procrastination can actually hold us back in a positive way. We could be procrastinating because the ideas we have for a specific goal aren't exactly formed properly yet, and they're not ready for us. Or we may need to meet certain people in our lives or certain directions or opportunities, and if we complete or accomplish certain goals when we want them from an ego level, we miss those people and we miss those real opportunities for our soul to grow and expand. But that's the blessing side of procrastination. There comes a point when procrastination is a curse as well. That is when if you're like me, I would think that inspiration would come and motivation would come if I just waited. I'd find myself just surfing the net or sitting on the sofa watching TV, and I thought inspiration will come soon and I will feel motivated. And then I realised that motivation doesn't come to us. We have to take one step in the direction of our goals. And with each action that we take, the more motivated we become. We don't get a motivation before the act. We have to take the act first. And to define and refine your goals, just begin with one item, and it could be really small. If you've been suffering from depression, for example, doing work and achieving and goal setting may feel really big to you. When I was depressed, I thought goal setting was for the cheerleader types, the ones which are really, yay, let's get up and get started. And I was never like that. So I couldn't do it that way. So I had to start somewhere, and last year I was lying in bed and I was feeling really unfulfilled, and I asked for help, and I wanted to know what could I do to get started on all these ideas, because I knew I had lots of inspiration that needed to be put out into the world. And I just got this thought, oracle cards, and I thought, what does that mean? And then I realised I could make my own oracle cards. And I did. And they're just like this, plain old card, just cut into the shape of sort of shuffling size. And on each card I put each of my goals, each of the intentions I wanted for my week. And I didn't just put down things like writing or blogging or creating a business. On each card I also put rest, relaxation, meditation, socializing. And I used these cards for about 2 to 3 months, and they really started my goal setting practice and really helped me focus. Because I felt like that as I shuffled the cards and I picked a card or 2 or 3 cards for the day, I felt like I was getting my employer was the universe, and because of that it made it really important for me to do. And some days I was really unexpected. I would pick up a card and it would say rest and relax all day, and my mind and my ego was saying I can't just rest and relax, I've got all these ideas. And then what happened was I'd be filled with exhaustion or I was sick, and the universe, life, knew that I needed rest and relaxation on that day before I did. So creating something that you can use to get you out of your habit of procrastination is a really good start. I mean, you might not use cards, you might come up with another idea. But it begins the process of, looking after yourself, taking care of yourself, taking care of your dreams and your inspirations. And it's not overwhelming because you haven't got 30 or 40 things that you're thinking you should be doing. You've got 2 or 3. And then after you've done that for maybe 2 or 3 months, you can stop using the cards, because every step that you take, more motivation comes and you become more focused. And another thing I started doing was getting up earlier. I used to lie in bed. I used to lie in for too long, and I think the longer you sleep, actually the more tired you become. And I discovered that in the morning I was maybe going on the internet, just surfing Facebook for 3 or 4 hours. Hi Sandra. And because of that, I wasn't getting anything done and I wasn't achieving anything at all. So it's really important to sort of look at your time and see where you're wasting it. Is it time for you to start getting up early? Are you more productive in the evening? Get to know your rhythms and your energy and see what's right for you. And start to wonder about your intentions and your goals in life. Whether you're procrastinating because to actually achieve and accomplish your goals will be a threat to your identity. For example, if you're sick or you're perceived in a certain way by your family or friends. For me, it was always a feeling of someone who never achieves, is always failing at everything, always feels very small. So for me to achieve and to get through my goals and to succeed means that my whole identity has to change, and I have to shine, and I have to be who I am and be authentic and honest. Not everyone's going to like that. So ask yourself if you're identified with maybe a health issue or a way of life. It could be just a really relaxed, quiet life. Maybe you're a bit of a hippie and you just, you like just to be a bit lazing around watching the birds all day or going for walks in nature, which I like to do as well. And that can be a bit of an identity and stop us, moving forward into our goals. So there's a lot of reasons and a lot of ways to begin your goals, but you've got to understand why you procrastinate in the first place. Is it because these goals are not for you? Is it because you're waiting for an opportunity to come? Is it because you're trying to hold yourself back because you don't want the change? You may feel like you want it on an ego level, but quite often there's undercurrents of how we feel, how we identify with ourselves and our reality. We may be married or have a relationship with someone who is not used to us being busy or likes to be the main wage earner in the house. Maybe you're female and maybe your husband prefers to be the man who earns everything. So in a way, you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to become successful or live beyond your means. Yeah, I am sort of a bit of a hippie, Sandra. I used to be. Not so much now. But it definitely does have an effect on how you change your view of what you can do in life. And another thing that is really important when you're goal setting or you're setting your intentions is don't knock your feelings. Be aware of what you're feeling at the time. If you've got a list of things you think you should be doing that day, ask yourself, is it right for you to do them on that day? Are you going to be more productive on a different day? There's been times where I've had a number of things I've wanted to do and I've done them on a specific day, and it's felt like I've been climbing up a really steep hill. And it's taken me a very long time to do them. And then I wait for another day and I've got more energy, more focused, I'm feeling much brighter in myself. I get all of those tasks done really quickly and efficiently. So you've got to really get to know your body and your emotions, your mind, be really mindful of what you need as well. And when you're goal setting as well, I said ask yourself, what does life need from you? But also a really good question to ask is, if money was no object, you didn't have to work for money, what would you be doing right now? What would light you up inside? What choices would you make that were different? I know there's a lot more questions. I know that you've asked questions, Tracy, but there tends to be more questions involved in goal setting and procrastination. I know a lot of people who procrastinate, and I know I procrastinated, and I think when you're suffering from depression especially, it can be really hard to get going and achieving what you want to do in life, which is why I created my own oracle cards. That was my wake-up call to realise I can do it. And the more I do it, the more motivated I feel to do more, and the more I achieve even tiny little things, the more I feel really accepting and more loving towards myself. And I never accepted myself, and I never loved myself, and I never trusted myself. And I didn't realise for all those years it was because I wasn't following through on the inspired ideas that I was getting from my heart and my soul. And if we don't follow through, then why would we trust ourselves? And when you trust yourself, you feel better about who you are. So ask yourself if you're ready to trust yourself. And if, for example, say it was a friend, and that friend never showed up for you and wasn't there for you, you wouldn't trust them and you wouldn't rely on them. So you become your own friend the more that you set your tasks and do small things. And when you do one thing, don't think about where it's going to lead. Don't think about the outcome or the destination, because that can stop us in our tracks. For example, when I was writing my books, my mind was thinking, what's going to happen at the other end? Am I going to get published? But that's not what we do it for. We do it because we like to do it. I write because I love to write, and whatever you do, do it because you love to do it. And even if you don't love to do it, you can actually build skills and talents on things that you're just good at, and start there if you're wondering what your passions are. Just begin on something, and you'll discover the more motivated you become, the more focused you become, the more the genuine heart's desires, the more passion comes from within you. But you have to start somewhere, because I know people who sit and watch television all day, and their thinking process has really slowed down because they're not putting any new information into their mind. They're not learning. They're not using their brain. They're not using the muscles in their mind. The same thing goes with motivation and enthusiasm. If you don't start motivating yourself even in a small way, you're not using the muscles. You're not engaging what you need to do to get you to move forward. So I think I've just about said everything I need to do on this subject. I'm sitting on a new chair right now, which is supposed to help me motivate myself even more. I'm on a kneeling chair, but as I'm 5'10", it's a little bit uncomfortable. But I'm going to stick with it because I get backache sitting at the computer. So I think I've said everything. I talked for longer than I normally do. And thank you for joining me, Sandra and Saeed. I really appreciate you watching live. And I hope you get to watch it on the replay, and that if you feel that you're stuck in life and you really want to accomplish certain things, just think about what I've said and really consider what's holding you back from doing it. And then start using your muscles, start using your moving muscles. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, right, I'm going to go now, and I'm going to achieve some things, and I'm going to go with my goals now, which is to get on and focus on Shining Bright Radio, which is being launched on May the 1st. Lots to do, but I'm going to take it slow and easy, because we've got to remember to relax and take some rest time. Hi Brian, I'm about to leave and I was just talking about Shining Bright Radio. Brian's the co-producer of Shining Bright Radio and the founder as well. But I'm going now, so thanks for watching everyone, and I'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.